Hi everybody, it's Carl Emberson here, live from Punta Mita. Friday it is, as we check in with a good friend of mine, John McIntyre, the director of golf in Punta Mita, who's going to be joining us today uh, from the Four Seasons Punta Mita. And from Punta Mita itself, I see my friend Mike O'Hara has joined us in today. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for joining us. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of good fans and friends of John, of the Four Seasons, of Punta Mita. Everybody, even some friends of mine might even join in. Who knows? My wife might join in, my daughters, if they're at home, working hard. Alejandro de la Barrera, thank you for joining us, Alejandro. And here's my good friend, John McIntyre, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, sir.
The best looking guy in town, our Punta Mita version of George Clooney.
Yeah, he is about as great as I am, I guess.
I wish you had a bank account that big.
Me too.
John, good to see you, mate. How have you been? How's Jackie?
Jackie's great. Thank you for asking. We're all pretty happy to be where we are right now, and for the past few months, we've had, I think better experiences than most of the people around the world. So we're very thankful.
Yeah, you're right. This is Punta Mita. Certainly, as you know, I have a home here, and it's certainly been a good place to live. With the fresh air, the sea breeze, a little bit of golf here and there. It's a good part of the world, and I think at the moment, we can only think of all the people that are perhaps less fortunate, and at this time that struggling. So our thoughts are with them, and as today we're actually in town, we've just given out another 800 family food baskets to the Punta de Mita. We're now over 4,500 food baskets we've given out, John, now. So that's feeding the people every week, or helping to put food on the table of a lot of the people here in Punta de Mita who live off tourism. So anyway, let's talk about what's news, mate. I know there's been no majors in the world of golf. What are these Punta Mita majors? Tell me a little bit about that.
We tried starting a few years ago to create a sort of a front, middle, and end of the season, and we used the member events to do that. We've got our member that is scheduled for this year. Hopefully everything is back to normal, or at least to the new normal, and we get to enjoy having all of our members come back down here starting in October. So we've got our member this fall, running the same weekend as the rescheduled Masters, actually. So we're looking forward to hopefully being able to execute that event with our members, and at the same time get to watch all the pros play at Augusta. So that'll be a unique.
Right, looking forward. I've already started training for that one.
Yeah, it'll be a unique weekend. I hope everything is able to come off as it's currently scheduled, and I think it would be a great way to bring a close to a tough year for everybody.
What else? What other majors have we got in Punta Mita? What else have we got? As we look at one of your swings, it looks like you're a bit standing up on that shot there. But anyway, talk about the major.
I think that was during one of our Pacific Cups, actually. We've got the member as our kickoff event each season, and then our marquee member event is the Tail of the Whale member guest, and that takes place traditionally over Super Bowl weekend. So there you go. In 2021, it's going to be February 4th to the 6th. So that has grown over the past few years. It was already a great event when I arrived here to Punta Mita, and I like to think that we have improved it even more in the past few years. So we expect we'll have probably 75 teams, something like that. So we've been growing about 10% each year, and it'll be fantastic. And then to finish our year, we've got the club championship, and that is an event where we try to get as much participation as we can for several different divisions, and that takes place on April 2nd and 3rd in 21 this year.
That would probably be the only one that we didn't get in this year. Is it maybe?
It's true. Yeah, we did have to. We we didn't cancel it. We postponed it, and we are tentatively hoping to hold the 2020 Club Championship in early November, just before the member.
Right. And tell me, there was a match play that this year that began. That's like, is that like the players? Is that like the other major that we have?
This was the first year for the member match play, and I think it was received really well. We had good participation, and our membership down here is unique. They travel a lot. People come and go frequently throughout our high season of the wintertime. So we will definitely be holding it again next year and look forward to more players. And it's going to be another fun group of trophies that we can hand out at our closing dinner in April.
Sure. Looking forward to that. John, talk about match play. I've got a little bit of a wager I'd like to put some money on this weekend. Tell me about your thoughts about this mixture of Brady, Phil, Manning, and Tiger this weekend. How are you looking forward? Are you going to watch that?
Of course. In fact, yeah, I'll be properly socially distanced at one of our member homes on Sunday. So looking forward to it.
Good. But any bets? Any bets happening?
Not yet, but certainly you and I will probably have one.
I'll beat you on the golf course soon, maybe this afternoon. If I run into, I haven't seen you for a while, but if I run into you in Punta Mita, I'll take your money in today at golf, and then maybe on Sunday as well. I'll go for Phil.
Yeah, I will definitely take Tiger. They're playing that match at Medalist Golf Club, which is in Hobe Sound, Florida, and happens to be a course I actually used to work at. So,
oh wow!
It was early in my career, and it was shortly after the club was built by Greg Norman. And it's an unbelievable golf course, and it has become the home for, I think, upwards of 20 or 30 PGA Tour players at this point. Tiger himself, Ricky Fowler, and just a whole bunch of other guys. Brooks Koepka, DJ, all those guys play out there, and along with Michelle Wee and a bunch of the ladies as well. So it's become a real hot spot in South Florida, and it was a phenomenal golf course. Really fun place to work as well.
Really, we must go and visit there on one of our golf trips when we can start traveling again.
Yes, it's a good spot. I like Tiger. I like Tiger on his own course. He also has Peyton, who is a very competitive golfer. And
is he a better golfer than Brady, you think? I know he's not as good a quarterback as Brady. That I know.
They are handicapping, I believe, off the same handicap. I think that's
okay.
What I think. So they're both handicapping.
Two or three handicappers?
I think, yeah, I think they might be getting 5 for this match.
Okay.
Something like that. So, and I think they're playing,
almost like what you give me when we play.
Not as much as I give you, unfortunately.
7, I think you give me. So anyway, good one. Talking about golf courses, J Mac, as we see the beautiful tail of the whale. What are you working on at the moment on the golf courses in Punta Mita? Are there any projects? Are you doing some stuff on Bahia course? What's open? What's going to open? What are the different COVID rules that are in place in Punta Mita?
Well, just for a quick bit of background, we've got the Pacifico 18-hole course here at Punta Mita, and we've got the Bahia 18-hole course. The Pacifico course, as everyone should know, opened in '99. The Bahia course opened in '09, and since I've arrived here, we've really been fortunate to do a lot of projects to bring the golf courses to a higher level. And one of the things we're doing right now is we're going through a tee box replacement project on both courses, which, the unfortunate situation with COVID gave us a window of opportunity to accelerate some capital projects. And we've gone ahead and done that. And we're already a few weeks down the road into a tee box replacement on both courses, and that'll take a couple of years. And we also are underway on a collard dam removal project that is something we started a couple of years ago on Pacifico and are going to complete on Pacifico this year, as well as complete Bahia. So both.
Yeah, I actually live near one of the. On my way home, I go by when I'm beating the peak hour traffic. in Punta Mita. I go past hole number 1, and I saw that you've started that, which is looking good. They make a big. So how does that happen over the years? They grow like a little mounds grow up, and then you have to cut them back.
You know what? Yeah, with high-end golf, with green maintenance practices at high-end clubs, we do a lot of top dressing. We do a lot of verticutting, and they're mown at a very short height. So when you top dress over several years, the sand around the sides doesn't get the same treatments, and therefore you get a little bit of mounding that occurs. And it's a very typical situation that occurs at high-end clubs, and you have to go through, and some clubs replace their collars annually if they're really aggressive. Most clubs do this type of a job every maybe 5 to 7 years or something like that. So very typical, and we're excited. It's a pretty easy task. It's a pretty easy project to do, but it has a really high impact on playability around the greens.
Right. So there's a couple of people asking, what courses do we play more? Well, at the moment we've been playing Pacifico because that's what we've had open, but we have the fortunate, we have both courses, 2 courses here. I'd say we probably play more by ear, wouldn't you?
When both are open, when both are open and we're in season, as I've said on several occasions, the Bahia course is definitely, I think, the member favorite. I think, and probably my favorite as well. I think partly that's because it's a little bit less busy. And also the green complexes are, as you well know, are just really interesting, and they create really fun shots that you have to try to accomplish to get up and down.
Yeah, no, definitely. Tell me a little bit about the Pacific Cups that you're having, these Pacific Cups that you like Interclub. I know Punta Mita had a pretty good season this year. They beat our friends from Chicago, beat the Colonial guys as well.
Yeah, well, it's nice of you to let me introduce this, but this was something that we both definitely did together, and you know, these are marketing events, really, and you know, a lot of high-end private clubs participate in inter-club matches like these. I think ours are unique because of our location, and obviously we're a draw for folks to want to come down, and then a lot of our members live all over the U.S. and Canada, so it's a great opportunity for us in the summertime to get folks together and go up and visit some of those clubs and do our away match up at some of those clubs like we did in San Diego last year. So
right. You know, that's true. San Diego, and we've done the Colonial. We won in San Diego comfortably, I should say, and in the Colonial we got our butts kicked.
I think didn't we get rained out?
We got washed out. That's true.
Yeah, I think we got washed out.
Any of our friends, just as we were waging a huge comeback.
That's right.
A huge comeback. The guys, they turned the taps on in Colonial, and it poured down like it never had in their lives, and we got washed out just as we were turning the corner back towards a remarkable comeback.
And I can't quite remember who the overall winners were at the Top Golf, which was what we substituted the final day of competition at Top Golf down there in Dallas. So,
I know it was the drinking was the winner there.
That's right. That's right.
Top Golf, we definitely would have won the Top Golf, though. You know, no doubts about that. Tell me, Mac, what's Stickney up to? Where's he these days? Has he been around? What's he up to?
Our director of instruction, Tom Stickney, is on a trip to the U.S. He left on Monday, and he is visiting a handful of clubs around sort of starting in Texas, and then he's going to move his way through the Southeast. I think he's going to head to Memphis, which is where he's from, and check in with some family.
Right.
I think his parents are down in Destin, so he'll be down in the Gulf Coast area, and I believe he's intending to head towards the East Coast and then North Florida. So he's going to be checking.
He's got on a bit of a trip there. Was that a photo he sent us? I didn't quite get a photo that he sent with Spieth playing golf or something like that. Jordan was playing golf with him today. I don't know.
There is a mini tour event taking place in Texas, and it happened to be at a club where a good friend of Tom's is a professional, and he went over and watched these guys are out playing. I honestly, unfortunately, off the top of my head, I can't remember. I want to say it's some type of a Shriners event, but it's a charity golf tournament, and he was sending us a picture of Jordan Spieth, who happened to be there randomly playing as a marker for one of the competitors, who obviously, somebody must have withdrawn, or they ended up with a cut that was an uneven number of people, so they needed to have somebody fill in, and that person turned out to be Jordan Spieth, which is pretty funny. So
crazy. I saw, typical Stickney. He sends you a photo, and he doesn't give you much information, and you got to guess. Okay, I know it's Jordan Spieth, but where is it? When is it? How is it? That's why I'm asking you, because I got that photo not too long ago. Tell me, J Mac, we got a few questions coming in there asking about the Gulman Golf. I can probably answer that one. That's a work in motion at the moment. We're just setting out dates, obviously, and I'll hand it over to you, John. Talk about COVID golf, how we play golf in Punta Mita these days. But when it comes to events, our calendar is coming out for November onwards. You mentioned the member. The Gulman Golf will happen. It'll probably be in a more limited version, a smaller version this year in one way or the other, smaller meals, smaller gatherings, smaller tournament, everything like that. So tell me a little bit about what rules do you have if I'm coming to Punta Mita when we open our doors and I'm a golfer, how's that going to look for me?
It's going to look very similar to what people are seeing, what golfers are seeing anywhere else in the world right now. We were fortunate to be able to have one of our courses open for a significant amount of time through this crisis, and we implemented all the protocols, weeks and weeks ago. So we've got the flag sticks stay in. We've got foam inserts at the bottom of the pins so the ball doesn't fall very far down into the hole and can be retrieved without touching anything else. We've got rakes removed from the bunkers, and players are allowed to improve their lies in the bunkers at this time. We've got staff that come as possible and come back and clean up the bunkers after they get played in. We've got one person per cart. We've got, unless you're cohabitating with somebody that you're playing golf with, then you're allowed to ride in the same cart. Our staff has placed sanitary gel and sanitary wipes at all relevant locations, at the driving range, in the staging area, out on the golf course, in the bathroom. What else are we doing? Range stations are separated a little bit further apart. We do have our lessons are available, but we're obviously practicing social distancing for those as well. Trying to think other. I think that's about.
You bring you got to take your golf bag.
Correct. Yeah, our staff, and it's funny because our staff is the thing that 90% of our guests and members are just in love with our staff. They're just the greatest team of customer service professionals, and they just are like a family here. And it was really hard to get them accustomed to the idea of not providing the same services that we do at all the rest of the year, to not be grabbing people's bags and to not be, really giving the white glove experience to our guests is hard for them, but that is what we're doing right now in order to stay safe. All of our players carry their own golf bags, load their own golf bags. Our staff they sanitize the carts before they bring them out. They set them up for people to take, and then they sanitize them when they put them away. So there's a very limited amount of sort of transmission opportunities.
Right. Tell me, John, you mentioned the driving range, and I'm a resident. I live in Punta Mita. It's such a great facility now that, it's been upgraded between the driving range itself, the new greens, the chip in there. You can live out there. Tell me a little bit more. Are you putting this renovation? Is there some sort of a plan to show the world the whole project and get it recognized?
So we were, and I will take a quick aside and say you are a resident, but you're also one of our more frequent guests at the range. So you have I'm impressed by your morning program of exercise and then, at the range for half hour, 45 minutes before you head into the office. And it's always at sunrise. So I'm always impressed.
And
But
always the same song.
we finished. We were completing the range renovation last year, and Tom Stickney had the very intelligent idea that we should submit our renovation for some exposure. And we weren't ready to do it in 19, but we will be ready in 20. So we will be submitting a package of materials for consideration by the GRAA, which is the Golf Range Association of America. They have a international division for a contest each year that recognizes clubs that have taken the effort and the money to really improve their practice experience. And ours, I think, is going to be a great candidate. I've been at many clubs over my career and have certainly visited, dozens or hundreds of others as well. And as a golfer, I can say that I don't really think you could have a better practice experience than what we've created out there.
Yeah, right. And, I, as you well say, I do the morning, I do the afternoon sometimes. And you having a double-ended range, you can also, the effect of the sun, you can, in the morning you can go one side and the afternoon the other side. It's pretty hard to beat, J Mac. As we look at Stadler there and Peter Burke in a photo, I just had a conversation yesterday, and I haven't shared with this year, I haven't seen you for a while, with Jean Van der Velde. He's going to be popping by. He's dying to play golf. He hasn't played golf. He lives in Mexico now with his wife, and he's going to pop by in about 10 days. So we'll get out and have a round with him and maybe Rodrigo Lebois just in the beginning of June, hopefully, make some money.
He is definitely one of the more gracious, sort of celebrity professionals I've met when we got the chance to meet him up in Mexico back in February.
Right, remember? So, yes, I remember you. Good memory. It wasn't too long ago that we were at the WGC, and we had that's right. We had dinner with him, and that was a very memorable moment. In fact, Peter, who's in this photo, talks fondly of that evening where he met Jean Van der Velde, and the gracious manner and the way he handles himself and the man that he is, and which is great. So it's always good to bump into and have fans like Stadler, Corey Pavin, Lorena, Gabi, Carlos Ortiz, Alvaro Ortiz that come down here and stay with us and practice and use our facilities.
Johnny Miller is
Johnny Miller. I remember that Q&A we did with him. That's one I'll remember for a while. We got a nice photo with Johnny. That was amazing. Q&A. I wish we could do that. We got to do another one of those soon.
Yeah, I thought that was a really neat opportunity also, for sure.
Anyway, J-Mac, we're touching our limit of these checking in with celebrities and good-looking people like yourself. So it's been good catching up, and I look forward to taking your money on the golf course. And take care. You're looking good, mate. Give my love to Jackie, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers. Thanks so much. Look forward to it.
Ciao, mate.
We'll see you soon. Take care.